What's up, everybody? Quentin Flores here. I am hanging out with a good friend of mine who flew all the way in from Las Vegas to attend our gathering event yesterday. It was super awesome. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the entire world.
Hi everyone, my name is Toddy. I live in Las Vegas. I was very lucky to come across Q a few months ago on the internet, and I went to this event yesterday. It was amazing. And I wholesale virtually in a couple different markets, mainly in Ohio.
I love how humble she is. Let's be real. She's documenting her entire journey, guys. I'm gonna drop her YouTube channel in the comments right here. But she's blowing up on YouTube. It's funny because before she joined my Facebook group, I found her on YouTube. And then I was like, yo, I've seen her before. You were promoting your YouTube channel. I was like, dude, I normally don't let people do that, but I support this because I thought that was really awesome, man. So, look, I want to ask you a couple of questions. You ready to just dive into this?
Yes.
All right. So, you're from Las Vegas. Is that born and raised, or?
No, I was born in Fresno, California, and then moved to Vegas about when I was 6, and then went to college in Grambling, lived in San Jose, so I went around for a little while, but ended up back in Vegas.
Okay. Did you go to college, or, give us a little bit of your background for the people that don't know anything about you.
So I went to college for 1 year, and then I was like, okay, this is not for me. Went back home, got my real estate license when I was 18.
Okay, so you're a realtor.
I wasn't though, so I got my real estate license. I tried to do real estate for like 6 months, didn't have any money saved up, kind of crashed and burned. All I was doing was cold calling, trying to get a listing, and I was like 18, beat up Toyota, no nice clothes. I'm not gonna make an excuse and say it was because of my situation though, because I know there's people in worse situations that kill it. I just didn't have the mindset yet. So I took my real estate license and I started selling timeshares, which turned out to work out for me because that's where I learned about sales.
What are timeshares?
So timeshares are basically hotels, but you could say a condo hotel kind of thing, where you own a fractional piece of that hotel for the year. So you would buy a week of a property. So you actually get a deed.
What?
It's called a fractional share deed. So you'll buy a week, say, in Hawaii or Vegas, and then you can actually trade that week to anywhere you want to stay in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
You haven't?
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's such a unique way of making money. That's entrepreneurship 101.
I was making crazy money. So between then I was like 19 and 21 when I was working there. And
how old are you now, by the way?
I'm 26 now.
Okay, great. I heard if you ask a female that, you get punched in the face. So thank God that didn't happen.
No,
on
I'm
camera.
not that girl. You can see my age and my weight and everything. I'm not ashamed.
Oh, okay.
No, but it was really cool to learn about real estate in that way, like it being more fractional than it being a whole property.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easier because people are coming to Vegas on vacation, and then you're selling them a vacation. It kind of went hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I was dumb, so all that money I made, I just blew it. Like, I don't know what I did with it.
It happens. I did the same. My first wholesale deal I ever closed, I went and bought a whole pound of weed. I'm not even lying. That's literally what I bought. And I bought it because I was trying to flip it and make more money, but that was my first investment. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
People don't even know this, but that sustained me for a long time. I barely quit selling pot a couple years ago.
That is crazy.
3.5 years ago, I tried to flush a pound down the drain and record it on the internet to say, I'm done with this life. And then next thing you know, the water starts shooting up because I clogged the toilet with the weed. Never said that on camera before, but I swear it was an entirely different time, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So were you wholesaling at that time?
I was.
You just started?
I started gaining traction in 2015. That's when I closed my first deal.
Okay.
And it took me forever to get off of the ground. So back then the information wasn't as available as it is now.
Right.
Like you can go and look at my YouTube channel. It's like all out there. You're throwing out tons of value.
Yeah, I learned
right?
a lot from your Facebook group too. Like just getting in there.
I appreciate it.
It's crazy.
So you started wholesaling how long ago?
So in April, I guess you could say I tried to wholesale in Vegas. Like I was doing the driving for dollars. I was cold calling
I heard
people.
it's tough there.
And it was so hard. Almost everybody on the phone was like, "You're the 5th person that's called me today. Oh, if you don't give me this much." And all the home values are pretty high up there in Vegas, and people know because it's such a hot spot for investors to come and make Airbnbs. So it wasn't really working out. And I'm a really intuitive person. So about after like 10 days in Vegas, I said, you know what? Something's telling me this isn't for me, but I know it's not my work ethic because I'm working really hard. So let me try to do the virtual thing because I had seen that there's a guy on YouTube, Wholesale to Millions.
Kong.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Kong, by the way. King Kong.
He's always talking about virtual wholesaling.
That guy has so much energy.
Does the cold calls live on YouTube and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? If these people are doing it, I have a really I don't have an ego, but I have a competitive side to me that's like, if they're doing it, I can do it, period. So
I was the same.
So I see him doing it. I'm like, if he's doing it in different cities and states, I can do it. So I started getting on those, those Facebook groups that are total wholesaling, but not for any market, yours, like Supercharge and all those.
All random.
All wholesale.
All wholesale, yeah.
I would go in those and see people posting deals and just was taking note of what markets seemed like they had deals.
Gotcha.
And then that's how I decided Ohio. And literally my third day cold calling in Ohio, I was having people say, yeah, I want to sell. How much could you give me? I hadn't heard that.
What part of Ohio?
Cleveland, Columbus.
I was born in Cleveland.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious? How long did you live there?
Pretty much my entire childhood until I was about 8, 9-ish, and we moved down here. Dude. I lived right next to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
No way.
I lived off St. Clair in East 1999.
I
swear to God, my mother used to walk me down the street. Yeah, I was in the hood.
Yeah.
School I went to that I grew up in, the school I went to was predominantly black, no doubt,
St. Clair,
right?
Superior area.
100%.
Yeah.
My mama used to walk me with her down the street to go pick up groceries and stuff, and there'd be this group of dudes that were just hollering and whistling at my mama, and she'd be like, "It's okay, mijo, those are the Bone Thugs," and I'd be like, "What?"
No way.
Yeah, apparently the Bone Thugs were trying to holler at my mom, but that a long time ago, But
Your mom
yeah,
was asleep. She knew.
She knew. Everybody in Cleveland knew. This was the '90s, so
it's crazy.
It was just a different time, yeah. But I came down here into San Antonio. I've been here pretty much my whole entire adolescent year. Well, I would say my teenage years and whatnot. But I love this place. This is your first time in San Antonio?
Yes.
What do you think of this place?
Well, so far, because all I did was come, sleep, and then come to your event. So far, I feel like San Antonio is the most inspirational place I've ever been.
Let's go. That's how it goes.
So I'm I hope every time I come to San Antonio, I get these vibes or better, because I feel like there's such great energy. I didn't even know there was so many big people in real estate. In that room with us, the guy behind me, hundreds of deals, the guy over there, just these silent millionaires. I'm this is nuts.
It is. It's inspiring, if you ask me.
Oh gosh.
One of the things that I love about throwing those events is the the difference in people, because it's so many different people from all different types of walks of life coming together for just to network and to be together. That's why we throw the events, and we don't charge for any of those things unless I do a convention where I have high dollar speakers.
Of course.
It's all free, and we have local legends here.
Yeah.
People that have been doing real estate in this market. This is a hard market to be successful in, I tell you that, because San Antonio is historic, a historic place.
Yeah.
A lot of San Antonio was found late 1700s, early 1800s, so you get a lot of historic property. One street could separate your house from being worth just $100,000 and $500,000. That's how crazy it is, Could you imagine if you're on the other side of that street?
That's kind of how it is in Cleveland too, and I think that's what's really tough about when you don't know a market.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people try to jump into a virtual market, and they'll, list a property at retail, and it's no, we're wholesaling. But it's just because they don't know. They don't know, when you look at PropStream or whatever software you're using, that house might have sold for $130,000, but the house behind it might only be worth $20,000. Because that's how it is in Cleveland. It's crazy. You never know. You have to actually know the streets.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? And I want to give y'all a nugget right here. You're in Vegas, right? Let me tell you guys about Vegas. Vegas in that market is dominant by realtors that are offering 1% commissions on listings. And people there, they know they can get retail. Who the hell doesn't want to live in Vegas? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter what part of Vegas you are. If I can drive downtown and gamble, that's a vacation to me. Every day's a vacation in Vegas. So with that being said, I have a friend of mine who had created a truck company. It's a trash out company. It's called Trash Out Pros. And how he markets to homeowners, apparently hoarder houses are at an all-time high in Las Vegas from old families that have bought houses in Las Vegas, vacation homes if you will, and they stuffed them to the top with stuff that they've gotten while they were there. And then they get old and they pass away. Well, my buddy runs a truck business that cleans out those houses. Not only does he clean out the houses, he offers to buy the property from those people. So
smart.
In Vegas, you got to get extremely creative. 100%. It's crazy that you would say that, because a year ago I was in Vegas. You're here right now. And that's how I found that out. Shout out to my friend Property Plug on Instagram.
Super smart.
Yeah, it is. And you know, you gotta be extremely creative when it comes to being in that market. But you know what? Why even do all of that? What gave you the idea to go into a virtual market?
So I've always been more of a big fish in a small pond type of person. Why swim with the sharks when you don't have to? You know what I mean? So in Vegas, there's people dropping like 40, 50 a month on marketing, easy, or if not more. You know?
It's hard to compete with that.
Hard to compete, and I don't really want to compete where I can't compare. So I said, okay, where can I go that I can just work hard and my work will be my value, not my money, not the money I have to invest, but the work I actually put in. And this is not going to sound too nice, I guess, not to be rude or anything, but in some states, I don't know what it is about the West Coast and the South, but the West Coast and Southern people have like a different type of hustle than the Midwest. The Midwest is a little bit slower. So even like the realtors, the wholesalers, the trash out people, the contractors, in Ohio, it's slow. Like everyone moves slow. They get their deals slow. They do business slow. You make an appointment and they don't show up. Like there's a lot of that because it's such a relaxed culture. Also, they have like an opioid epidemic happening, which is which also contributes to the lack of drive and motivation in the population. So the competition there, even though there's some beast wholesalers out there, like I'm not gonna say the competition is weak. There's some crazy people out there, but it was just easier because in Vegas you might have 20 companies with as much money as Zillow. In Ohio, you probably have 5 with as much money as Zillow. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to compete with Zillow. Zillow's not even in Ohio. So that worked out for me. But when I started sharing my journey on YouTube, everyone started jumping into my markets because I was posting like my first few deals. I'm putting the addresses. Like I'm not thinking at all. Like I'm just like, oh, I got my deal. And then in my first 3 weeks, I got 3 contracts. So I'm just so excited because everyone's saying, oh, it's so hard to get a contract. I'm like, I must be the GOAT then because this isn't hard. But I wasn't being, I was getting really cocky. But then I wasn't being forward thinking because I post everything and then now everybody, I mean like at least like probably 250 people were like, well, I just started in Columbus. Well, I just started in Cleveland.
Tell me you have a Facebook group now.
Well, I started a Facebook group called Virtual Wholesaling Mastermind, but it was like for the people in my on my Instagram and my Instagram Hot Wholesale. There's like a group of people that we like. I'll get on live and they'll jump on lives to me. It's like 30 people. I'll get on Zoom and they'll all like these same people consistently always want to learn and they're actually taking action and they're actually helping each other. So it's this really weird, really cool group of people that I don't consider myself, I'm teaching them or I'm their mentor, nothing like that. I just tell them when I learn something new, I'm like, hey guys, this happened. And then they're like, okay, well I learned this and I learned this and you can actually do this. Like things I didn't know, like for example on PropStream, this is probably so elementary, but I didn't know that on PropStream, there's a filter that allows you to not pull the same property twice. Yeah. Like I didn't know that, but someone from the group told me that. Someone from the group told me you can use phone burner on your cell phone. So now I can make my cold calls and follow-ups in the car. So it's like things that help me, I'm learning from them. So it's really more of a collaborative than anything.
And yeah, I love that. And people think that I created the group so I could teach everybody everything that I know, when in reality, I bring people into this office all of the time. I meet individuals all of the time. Everybody in that room, I've never met them in my entire life, but like maybe 8 of those guys that were there that showed up to my events in the past.
It was so crazy how people flew across the country to see you and they've never even met you. And me too. I mean, like I've never met you, but I'm like, dude, this dude's throwing an event and it's free. I don't know why it was free. You guys are just... Because people would have really paid for that.
I'm telling you, it's I know what it's like to come from nothing, and I know how hard it is to have to sit somewhere for 4 or 5 hours to get upsold 20 to 30 grand in a seminar that you can't afford when you badly need that education. A friend of mine told me a long time ago. He said, "How much would you charge to save someone's life?" And in my eyes, I always said, like, and I used to charge for education. I used to charge a lot, The only time I charge for things like this now, if it's like a private one-on-one mentee that wants to come in, or if it's like it's something that needs more time. There are some people out there, you guys that are watching this, that are needing that hands-on education, And if I have the time to allocate with everything that I have going on, I'll have to figure out how to fit it into the schedule. But I love the free events because people get so much value from that, and that's just enough for them to be able to go back home and make serious decisions. Yesterday we talked about some real life business stuff, and I'll be going over it. I recorded a lot of the event. I'll post it on a whole nother level.
Y'all are not ready.
A whole nother video, and I'm excited about it, you know, but
They're not ready.
you're gaining massive traction in this space. You know that, right? And I think that is one of the most awesome things. It's one of the reasons I wanted you on the show. You have a brand. And one of the things we were talking about yesterday was presence, right? The moment that you walked in, it's like the whole room bent around you.
Thank you.
And I could tell,
Wow.
right? And that's the power of a woman who knows what she wants in life, right? And for you guys that are watching this right now, you have to be able to carry that presence with you because it's going to help you close more deals. It's going to help people trust you more often. And these sellers are going to feel it the same way everybody else in that room felt it when you walked in. So you got to keep carrying that presence with you. See what I'm saying?
That means a lot to me coming from you. Wow.
No, bro, I mean, telling you, it's a power move, and it's positive energy, and that's what I feed off of. So, dude, from April to now, how many deals have you closed?
So so I was feeling real confident. I met some beasts yesterday. They knocked me off my little pedestal, I'm not gonna lie. So I thought I was doing some big stuff, but I'm so excited. I'm more motivated than anything. So I started in April. So contracts wise, I've gotten 23 contracts.
What?
But don't get excited because the number that have actually closed is 13.
Oh, don't get too excited. Only 13 houses starting in April. What? Like, okay, it's rookie season. That's what it is right now. I'm telling you. You know, when I first started, you guys know this because I say this, and I have to tell you because you may have not have heard me say it, but a year and 8 months it took me to make $2,100 in real estate. And when I closed on that deal, I felt like I hit the holy grail. You telling me that from April to September, what is that, 5 months in the game, you've closed 13 deals consecutively. Are all these virtual?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, well, okay, you mind if I ask what the amount of money was that you made on that?
Yeah, for sure. So in total, before I paid anybody, it was a little over 75. It was like 77,300, something like that.
Wow.
But then I had, so 3 of the deals I did do with JV partners.
Okay.
So after paying them, and then I pay my boots on the ground, $50 per property. I pay $250 if anyone like goes and takes pictures for free and it closes, because I have a few different ways that I compensate my people out there.
That's yesterday we went over compensation like crazy.
That was amazing. Like I have a new business strategy, but after paying them, I got to keep about 54,000 of that.
That's still amazing.
And I'm just just looking at it all, because I never thought of it in the way that you guys were talking about as a business. Like, okay, you might make $100,000 on a deal, but I'm lucky if I take X amount.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought of it like that. Never thought of, okay, how much am I going to reinvest to double up what I'm doing? I just kept paying for the same subscriptions and softwares and doing that, but that's not going to get me anywhere. Like, these people are making hundreds of thousands a month because they're reinvesting the right way, and I learned how to do that yesterday. So you don't know how excited I am to go back. Like Monday morning, it's over for you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang.
I'm just kidding.
You know what? There's 2 things I'm getting from this interview, by the way, and I want to make sure that everybody here watching this sees this. Number one of the most biggest drives when it comes to growth, guys, and I'm talking about grabbing the ball, taking it to the end zone, don't care who's in front of you, is competition. I love competition. I'm a very competitive person by nature. And if it's that same competitive edge that you want on other individuals that you feel inferior to, that's gonna make you become the superior you.
Yes.
And I think that right there, that's a bar, by the way. Right, bar in the comments, right? But that's one of those things that I love because I'm competitive.
Yes.
The second thing as well is those joint venture deals that you were talking about. Did you find those guys on social media?
Yes, all of them.
Was that from your brand that you created?
One. And then actually it's been a lot. So a couple joint venture deals. One found me through the Hot Wholesale on Instagram, but the others found me on Facebook groups, because I use those wholesaling groups on Facebook heavily, like to find buyers, to find people to work with, boots on the ground contractors, everything.
Dude, see that right there, guys? Some of y'all are still trying to work on a subscription that works out. You're still trying to pull leads and skip trace, and you're trying to figure out. You know what's crazy that people don't understand is that over 3.2 billion people have social media today.
Yeah.
Have social media today. Now they say that Facebook has an algorithm, right? This is all based on engagement. This is something you may have not even known yet. I'm gonna drop some gold on everybody here real fast, but if you have 5,000 friends on your Facebook, Facebook's algorithm, rounded about here or there, allows for 10 to 15% of your audience to see you when you're posting in people's groups, when you're posting online, etc. If you're posting in another group, 17,000 members is what ground zero is at.
Yeah.
10% of the people that are within that group get notified when posts come up. So when you post in there, 1,700 people are seeing you. If you've maxed out your friends list, 500 people are seeing you. It's the average person in this world has an inner circle of 5 people that they talk about and talk with all of the time. Then every one person that I reach out to is going to tell 5 people about me. Now, if your impact is so strong and so powerful, the way yours is, then it'll reach beyond those 5 people, because those 5 people have an inner circle of 5 people, and then it's who they tell after that. So if I tell people that I buy houses, if I tell people that I close deals virtually, if I'm creating a Facebook group and building a brand, then the larger my presence becomes known. And so if somebody says, hey, well, if I had a deal in Cleveland, could you help me with it?
Heck yeah.
How so?
I have over 300 cash buyers on my list. I talk to these people every day. They're my friends. Like, I made these relationships with these buyers out there to the point where on our birthdays, we're cash shopping each other. We're calling each other. Like, and that's the most important thing to all of this. If you want to virtually wholesale, don't think that it's going to be some, like, I'm just going to get on the internet and send this money to these people, have them take pictures. No, you have to spend hours on the phone becoming friends with people, or why would they work for you? Why would they work hard for you? They don't care about you. They don't know your life. I spent the first couple weeks, as well as cold calling. As much time as I spent cold calling, maybe 4 or 5 hours, at night I was spending those same 4 or 5 hours literally sitting on the phone with boots on the ground, contractors, other realtors, other wholesalers in that market, not even talking about real estate. Like, what'd you eat today? Like, what you got going on later? Like, seriously becoming their friend. Like, we text each other, like, they know about my life, I know about their life, I know their wives or their husbands. And getting that deep with people, now, if it's like, run to this property for me, they're there. Do this for me, they're doing it. Grab a lockbox from Home Depot, throw it on this house, got you.
What?
I'm serious, because it's relationships. And if you have 3 solid relationships in your virtual market, those people will go to bat for you, and then you take care of them. And then even sometimes, like I was just telling them yesterday, I cash app someone for going to check out a plumbing issue, and then I ended up closing the deal. Cash app them like a month later when the deal closed. They're like, what'd you send me this money for? They sent it back to me. I'm like, because you checked out that house and it closed. They're like, I don't want your money, I did that for you. I don't even know this person. Like, I met you on a Facebook group 2 months ago, and you're doing things for me because you care about me in 2 months. And that's the power of people relationships, way more than anything you can do on the internet. You can try to finesse the whole world, it doesn't matter. If you care about somebody though, they're gonna care about you.
Oh, 100. I live my entire business like that.
Yeah.
3 things that a seller cares about. Number 1, even the people in your life. Your impression on that person, the service that you provide, the level and magnitude of which you hold that relationship to your heart.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can add number 4, the monetary gain that it comes from helping other people.
Yeah.
People, they're attached to powerful relationships, and it sounds like you created some awesome relationships up there.
Yeah.
In a market, have you been to Cleveland? Have you ever flown in there?
No, not yet. And
she closed 13 deals in a market that she ain't ever been to, my dude. Hasn't even stepped her feet into the ground.
What's crazy though is I'm so deep in my market. Like when you said St. Clair, I'm like, I know where that is. Like I'm in Cleveland on Google Earth every day. I'm learning the streets. The reason those boots on the ground are so important is because they're gonna tell you, dude, that's the hood. You can't sell that property for 20K. You need to get it for 15. They're going to be the ones who tell you the buy prices. They're going to be the ones who tell you the real deal Holyfield in the city, because you're not there. How do you really know? So it's like PropStream can only tell you so much. The internet can only tell you so much, because they're going based on values. And like we talked about, that house could be 130 and that house is worth 20. So who's going to tell you the real? Someone who's really in real estate in that market. That's
that's why I have having those relationships is so powerful. So I got to ask you, for the person who's watching this right now, 13 deals in 5 months is heavy, right? This person could not have closed a deal yet. How did you do that so quickly?
The first thing is the number one thing that bothers me when people tell me I haven't got my first deal yet, they haven't even ever cold called yet or even did anything yet. And it's like, if you don't even do anything, how are you gonna know what issues are gonna arise for you to ask the right questions and figure things out? The part where wholesaling starts is when you actually are talking to a seller and working a deal. If you're before that, if you've never even got your first lead and you've never talked to a seller, you shouldn't even be thinking about anything else but finding a seller to talk to. How do you do that? Get a list, call it. That's it. Get a list, call it. Don't think about anything else about, oh, how am I gonna set up my business and make my website and do, none of that matters. You don't even have a customer.
Exactly.
So why are you trying to start a business? You don't even have any supply and demand yet. And that's like rule number one of business, supply and demand. You have no demand, so stop worrying about anything else. You need to get started. So don't think about anything else. And I really think people should stop trying to get around cold calling, because it's like, yeah, you can text, yeah, you can send direct mail. It's all gonna end in a phone conversation anyway. Yep. You might as well pick up the phone for cheap and start calling people.
And one of the things that I'll suggest, this is what I did at the beginning. I didn't want to burn through my leads and mess up. So why buy a list and skip trace it if you're gonna mess up, right? Go online, download a whole list of for sale by owners off Zillow, and cold call them, because those are going to be the hardest people that you'll ever talk to.
And you get that practice out the way.
And you get the lingo. You learn how to speak the language of real estate. You get the experience of people telling you to go screw yourself and hanging up on you. And not only that, try and take it to the next level. If you're struggling right now with real estate terminology, go online, again, Zillow, download a whole list of realtors and call them asking them if they have any off-market properties. See if you tell them that you're a real estate investor and that you're trying to buy their houses or something. Maybe you wholesale and they're willing to partner with you. And that right there is going to build you skin. You're going to find extremely educated realtors that are both licensed and they're real estate investors. And it's going to be very, very hard for you to speak to this person, especially when you don't know the language. But you get the what? Experience. And that's how you do it. You just jump into the fire. And it seems like you jump straight into the fire, man.
You have to. You can't. There's fear, and then it's like when you feel that fear, that's what you're supposed to jump into, because that's the success is like on the other side of the fear. So when I'm scared of something, my first thought is, okay, let me get that out the way. And it was crazy how he said eat the frog, and he brought that up yesterday.
Love that book.
Because that is literally like, I feel like that's like one of the keys to life. It's just, if something makes you nervous, that's probably what you're supposed to do right now. And then you do it. And I got that from public speaking, because I public spoke for a while, and it's like, you do get really nervous. You start staging, you start sweating. But then you speak, and then when you leave the stage, people surround you and you get all this glory, and it's like, that's a different kind of high. Just like when you get that wire, that's a different kind of high. So it's like, you have to go through the fear.
I love it. And I've been through that. I look at the first time I ever spoke on stage, and I'm just like, who were you, man? And then I yesterday, I mean, I don't know, does it seem like I'm a natural or?
Oh man, well, it was so funny when you guys said we didn't even plan this. I'm like, y'all wrote a whole script for it. What do you mean you didn't
plan anything?
It seemed like the whole day was mapped out so perfectly. It felt like a paid training. You guys split us up into groups. We got one-on-one time with 4 goats.
Oh yeah,
that was just crazy to be in the presence of. I posted on my Instagram, I was like, literally billions of dollars in this room, and then Chris was like, I plan to be a billionaire. And when he said that, like, you could feel the energy in the room, because his faith in that goal is so strong. Everyone believed him. Everyone's like, yep, you are. And I can't wait for that to happen.
You have that same amount of faith. I can feel it, man. You said, I can't wait for that to happen. There wasn't even a doubt in your mind. Just that one face. I can't wait for that to happen. It's like, it's already on its way. What was that? The time just hasn't caught up yet,
Yeah.
I'm really impressed, 26-year-old gal living in one of the heaviest markets, guys, and being able to accomplish 13 closings in 5 months. Dude, I mean, I can't even, that's just so amazing to me.
Thank you.
And you know what? Building your brand right now and all of that stuff, I think is just super phenomenal, right? So would you say that building the brand was also part of you being able to do what you do in this markets?
No, building the hot wholesale thing, literally it just started with me being dumb. Like, I'm going to post when I cold call. I'm going to post. And then I started getting contracts and started posting. When I got my first deal and I made that YouTube video, I did not expect that to happen. Like, I made my first deal YouTube video, and then suddenly I had like 1,000 Instagram followers. So many people messaging me, and I'm like, dude, I just got my first deal. Like, I can't help anybody. I don't even really know how I did that, And then it just grew and it blew up. And sometimes I don't want the sellers and buyers to know about the whole Instagram thing, because I'm like, then they might have a different impression of me, and I just want to be this wholesaler. I just want to be this small person in their mind, because then when people think you're getting big or something, they might think you have a little more money to spend and so forth. So I'm like, I really honestly, Q, I don't know where this is going. I didn't expect this to happen. I'm very grateful. I feel very blessed that people want to listen to me and learn from me, but I'm not, like yesterday, within 10 minutes of talking to you, the knowledge that you have in real estate so far surpasses anything I know, like seller finance, subject to, like all those things. I don't know much yet. So I don't want people to bank on me and get led in the wrong direction. So I've literally just been documenting. This is what I did today and it worked. I got this deal and I got it like this. That's really all I'm doing.
And that's all, you know what? There's power in the story, guys. 100%. Because that one thing that you posted, and this is something that I've come across just by doing these videos, is there's something that somebody's going to get from this podcast that we're doing right now. I don't even know if I have a name for it. I was thinking about calling it the Rookie Season Podcast. Because I feel like everybody interviews all the big guys, and I just think that's so cliche. And I love interviewing the people that are coming up and gaining traction very quickly, because it's these people that are actually real and that are in the dirt, that are going out there. Not saying that the other guys aren't, but that are. It's like you walk around with this sense of humility. At the same time, it's like you're not afraid to show where you're at in your business. You know what I mean? And we live in a time right now, guys, where people fluff. You're real, and I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why I love doing these, because somebody that's watching this right now is going to get something from what you just said right now, and they're going to take it and make $1 million. I promise you. If you're watching this and you make $1 million off of what she just put out in this video right now, you better post that in the comments. Your Millie Month, all right? That's what we're gonna call it.
For real.
Yeah, you know, what's the end goal? You know, do you have that in mind? I know you said you just kind of started doing it. I love it, you know, because shoot first, ask questions later. That's all you gotta do. It's not about learning all these crazy things. It's just jumping into the fire. That's what you did. What do you see in the next year? How about that?
In the next year, this time next year, I definitely will have a team with me. It won't just be me anymore. It won't just be me trying to figure out, get the deal, sell the deal, get the money. It won't just be that anymore. It's gonna be, I'm going to have an acquisitions manager. I love Dispo, and it's so funny what you said yesterday. I don't think I'll ever let that go. And VAs, I really want to learn how to scale. I actually am going to this scale event. So yesterday was my first type of education in this wholesaling ever.
Oh, wow.
So besides YouTube for free, that's my first time being in a room or in a space with people who know more of me where I'm getting education. I didn't know about your event until I got this scale event that's happening in the first week of October. So
is that wholesale related as well?
It is. It's you know Jamil.
I do, yeah.
He's speaking at it, but it's somebody named Cody's event.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm going to that event. I didn't know about yours, but when I found out about yours, I just got the ticket and I came. I'm like, oh, I'm there.
Shout out to Pace Morby and Jamil Damji. Those are my guys, man.
Yes.
Those dudes are super cool. The week I like, you know, that sense of competition, right?
Yes.
You know, that's something that me and Aaron are doing. We compete with guys like that in the market,
man.
you know, but they do funny skit videos. We do them too, and I love their marketing, you know, so much love to those guys.
They're funny.
Y'all make sure you follow, subscribe to all of their stuff.
Yeah. And Jamil had posted something. I'm like, okay, I'll go to that event because I need to learn how to scale, and it's called Scale. And like you were talking about yesterday, when you do it by yourself, you can only do so much. So a year from now, I'll have a team. I'll be hot wholesale. If that's going to be something that's going to be serious and grow, I will definitely have to figure out branding and a team for that, or how I'm going to work on that. But as far as Offer George, my wholesaling business, definitely want that in 5 markets minimum. And I definitely want to be traveling to those markets, and not just, I want to take it just from virtual, because now I can fly places. I'm not all the way broke anymore, so I want to go to those places and
luxuries. Let's go.
Go to those places, meet my boots on the ground, see the city, get a vibe, and so when I come home, I know what I'm doing. So I'll be in five markets. I think virtual is amazing. I would never do anything else.
I love it, man. I love it.
I'm gonna go on an appointment, not gonna lie. People make me nervous.
Hey, the you know, kickback, laid back wholesaler, the CEO vibes right there. That's what I'm getting.
COVID wholesaling, just stay home.
COVID wholesaling. I like that. We're coining that right now. Look, so for my people that are watching this was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me. This is
for
crazy.
anybody that is watching this right now, what is one solid piece of advice that you could give them?
The solid piece of advice that I'll give you Well, I already gave the advice about don't waste time and just get on the phone, because that's really the most important, taking action. But I'll say the other thing, the main thing that will keep you going, like a year and a half to get a deal, something kept you going.
Yeah.
Same for me. Something didn't work in Vegas. I had to switch markets. Something kept me going. For me, it was my 3-year-old son. And having that picture right there, and having that, remembering the time where I didn't have any money and I had my baby and he was 1, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? And my best friend, shout out to TJ Virgil, gave me his food stamp card and was like, feed your kid, don't give this back to me until you're straight. And
I'm gonna cry, man.
at that moment, like, I always think of that moment when I feel like, I'm not gonna call that seller, like, he was kind of rude and he kind of wanted too much. I get kind of nervous in my gut, and then I'm like, I think about that moment, like, do you want to be in that moment again where somebody has to give you a food stamp card? Like, no, dude, like, call that person. And then I call them. Have that thing, that moment that you remember where you felt like nothing, where you felt like a little scum on the bottom of the shoe. You have to remember that moment when you start to make some money, or else you're gonna just chill. You're gonna be like, oh, I got a $15,000 deal, I'm gonna go to Cali for a week. You can't do that. You gotta call the seller. Like, you gotta call the seller.
I gotta ask, are you a single mom?
Yeah.
Okay, you only have a 1 3-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow. How old is he? What's his name? He's 3, right?
He's 3. His name is Mackie. He'll be 4 in January.
Mackie, your mother's doing big things, all right? I love my son. My son's 4. Kids are engines, man. They're not anchors. And a lot of people feel like a baby or a child will hold them down, and you're over here taking over the whole world.
That's
man.
just going to put you on top, that baby, knowing that what you have to do for them.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up and my parents could never come to basketball games. Like, I was on the step team. They couldn't do anything because they had to work. So I've always never wanted to work when I had kids. I just had the kid before I could figure out how to stop working.
Hey, you know what? That probably helped you grow up a little faster.
Yeah,
I thank God that I had my son, because before then I was such a terrible person.
He saved your life.
He did. He changed me. I feel like the moment that I held my son in my arms, like, all hatred for anything died in that moment. And you know,
Amen.
like that's so amazing. Single mamas out there that are watching this is a huge testimony right here. Doesn't matter how many kids you got. I got a lady that's out in Florida, 5 children. She killing it, man. Her name's Giselle. I think she has 3 or 4. I'm sorry, not 5. But either way, she's killing it.
Yeah.
You know, her and her husband, I consider husbands. You know, I'm kind of a big baby. All I want to do when I get home is my wife carry me, you know what I'm saying? And just like cuddle me and shit for a minute. So, yo, for all the single mamas out there, yo, watch this, subscribe to this, follow her journey. For everybody that's watching this right now, how can they get a hold of you? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, on Instagram at The Hot Wholesale, and then YouTube, it's just Hot Wholesale. And I made a website, thehothwholesale.com. It's just going to be a collaborative, because all those lives we do, people put their info and it just disappears. So I'm building the website, so it's going to be like a forum where people can just be like, it's going to say like cold calling, and then they can put all their little tips about cold calling. So that's coming soon too, so people can collaborate and help each other. Because, you know, people ask you for help a lot.
All the time.
And you don't have time to like really do it. So I just want to make a platform where people can help each other too.
I love it. I love it.
That doesn't cost, you know, because, man.
This was phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming all the way over here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Vegas.
This is crazy. I feel like, Mama, we made it. No, I'm just kidding.
Until next time, guys, you know, just make sure, I'm gonna drop all of her links in the comment section. You guys give her a follow and like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you guys later. You love y'all. God bless y'all. Take care.
Thank you.
I want the check. I want the check.
Hey guys, if you like this video, go on and head over to my Instagram, where I post exclusive content to help you grow your business.